Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be running through my blazer, jacket and coat collection. This was very highly requested after I filmed my video trying on all of my tops, so I am going to link that one up here in case you guys haven't seen that yet. I am planning on running through my entire closet, which I'm hoping to get through a lot more of it throughout the month of May. If you guys aren't aware, I am planning on doing Everyday May, or as I'm coining it, Everyday J. So if you aren't subscribed, make sure that you do so if you want to see more fashion videos from me, because there's going to be a lot of styling content coming your way. And don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when a new video goes live. Anyway, I want to dive straight into it because I've got quite a few items to talk about. Everything is going to be listed in the description box below, along with all of my sizing information in case you guys have any questions about that, and I will also kind of put my measurements and height, that sort of thing as well, which I hope will be helpful. So I thought I would start with this Everlane wool blazer. I got this towards the end of last year when it was actually coming into summer here. Probably not the best time for a wool blazer, however now I kind of feel like I'm finally going to have an opportunity to wear this a lot. It's a really kind of lightweight style. It is oversized, so I went with a 2, and you can kind of see how it fits on me. It's sort of boxy across the shoulders, and actually I would say the shoulder pads just come out a little bit longer than my shoulders. I do have the linen blazer in a 0, so I'm going to try that on for you afterwards so you can see the sizing comparison, but I really like this. I particularly like it when the sleeves are scrunched up. I feel like that helps to counterbalance how structured it is across the shoulders, because the rest of it is sort of quite kind of loose. It isn't really too structured, it's not too formal looking. However, I think you can really make it work for both a formal and a more casual setting. But I really like this one. I actually missed out on it when it first dropped, so I feel like I was really lucky to get my hands on it when they released it again for autumn winter in the US. So here I am in the cotton linen blazer from Everlane. This is the exact same cut as the other blazer I was wearing. It's oversized, however this one actually fits me properly. It cuts off at the right point here on the shoulders, so it's not too broad, and I actually really like the way that this one looks just on its own. The sleeve length hits me at a pretty good point. If you're petite, you may need to get the sleeves taken up or else just roll them up. But I am so impressed with this. This was actually sent to me as part of a collaboration that I did with them. If you haven't seen that video and you would like to see me styling some of Everlane's recent launches, I'm going to pop that up here in case you would like to go and have a watch. But again, I'm really happy with it, and actually I do have the bone color coming my way, so I'm kind of looking forward to adding that to my wardrobe. Probably do not need another blazer, however I do think it will be really versatile for me and a great piece to reach for in the summer months. But overall, really happy with this. I think that this is definitely worth picking up. The only thing I will say is that there isn't quite as much room underneath the arms, so the sleeves on this are a lot more streamlined, a lot more fitted, so I can't really wear a big oversized sweater with this. However, with the grey one I can, so something to keep in mind. I see this as being more of a lighter weight, more of a spring, summer, early autumn jacket for me, so that's not too much of an issue. This next blazer is probably one of my favorites. It is a linen blazer from Yoli and Otis. Now, Yoli and Otis was founded by Lena, who I actually know back from Wellington when she used to work at Karen Walker, and I really admire her aesthetic. I think she has excellent taste, and it really comes through with the designs that she's kind of put forward for her brand. This I bought, I want to say, a year and a half ago maybe, so unfortunately this exact style is no longer available. However, she does have a very similar one for the current season. The sleeves on this are ultra long, and I think the whole reason why, I was talking to a girlfriend about this who knows Lena, is that she would always roll her sleeves up. So I think the whole idea is that you're supposed to cuff the blazer twice, and then it kind of gives you, it's the perfect length like that. So I kind of think that that was her intention behind it, and usually I'll do at least one roll when I'm wearing this, but I really like the fit. This was one of those mixed size fits, so it's a small medium, but I love the little details on here, like the wooden buttons, which I think are a nice kind of a natural touch, and then the fact that it doesn't have a lapel, and the neckline, the way that it kind of goes up your shoulder, it's sort of a little bit Indian inspired, I think. Very beautiful, such a nice wash linen. This is such excellent quality, and actually it's really got me wanting to try a lot more from the brand because I really love what she's done with it. Next, I thought I'd talk about a check blazer. This one is from H&M, and the quality for the price is absolutely excellent. I do think you can get really nice, beautiful tailored pieces from H&M if you look hard enough. This has a really nice kind of thick woven check pattern to it, and it is fully lined as well, which is really nice. It's a double-breasted style, so I can wear it done up like that, which I think is kind of nice, especially if you've got a skirt on underneath, or even like this, maybe belted at the waist, I think would look very chic. But I adore this. You guys will probably be seeing me wear this a lot more now that we're coming into kind of the middle of autumn and winter here in Sydney. It's one of my favorite blazers in my wardrobe, and I think a check is a really great one to have because it is a classic. Definitely was trendy last year, but I do believe it is a classic and one that is kind of worth having as a staple piece. This next blazer is a newer one in my wardrobe. This was sent to me from a friend of Audrey, and I adore this. I really love the color of it. It's a really dark olive peachy color, which I think is lovely. It's got the pockets here on the sides, which I actually haven't unpicked, and I like the fact that it almost feels like a coat blazer. It's sort of a bit of a hybrid, sits in between, I think. It's fully lined, which is lovely, and I would say I've got this small, and I think maybe it's a touch big on me. I do like the fact that it's oversized, so this is how it looks when it is done up, so you can kind of see it's a little bit more like a coat. But the detail I love on this is the belt. So you can do this up and you can cinch it in at the waist, which I think gives a lot of shape to it. A really nice little detail. You could even switch out this belt and put in your own. Hang on, let me just do this up properly. So that is how it looks done up. I think it's a little bit more military inspired like that, and that is sort of a big trend I believe for the season ahead. I've seen a lot of brands that are doing this thing where they're belting blazers, and I love the look. The girls from Twice Blessed have been doing this for years, and I've always really thought it was a chic styling trick, and it's something I think I'm going to incorporate into a lot more of my outfits as we transition into the colder months. The next blazer I've got here, I'm hoping you can see the detail because it's black, is from Rag & Bone. I bought this pre-loved from the Real Real because I was looking for an update to my Helmut Lang blazer, which I'm going to show you very soon. I thought this would be a good alternative. I really like the simple style of it. The length of it is really nice on me. It falls to just the bottom of my bum basically, but it's just a lovely tailored fit, fully lined. The fabric on this is slightly delicate, I will say. This has sort of been a bit of a go-to for me if I want a blazer when I'm wearing a really lovely dress. This pairs really nicely over the top. I think the length of it is really good, and the fact that it isn't too oversized. It's more of a streamlined fit. So a really good classic. I think everyone kind of needs a black blazer in their wardrobe. It's really good to wear for both relaxed and then more formal occasions. I did do a whole video on how to style the black blazer, so I'm going to link that up here if you guys want to go and have a watch if you want a few more ideas for how to wear it in more casual or relaxed settings. Next up we have this long line blazer from Storm, and again this was one that was very kindly gifted to me by their PR. I absolutely adore this, and it was kind of I think what inspired me to buy that one from H&M because I wanted something that was a little bit shorter. But this is a perfect one for pairing with trousers and jeans just because of that longer line length. I like the fact that it is relatively fitted, it's not too boxy or oversized, so it helps you to keep your shape. And the quality of it is really lovely too. It's quite a loose sort of a languid fit to it. It's not too structured or anything, so it feels very, very comfortable to wear. I have seen similar ones to this because unfortunately I don't believe this one is available anymore, seeing as it's over a year old. So I will link those in the description box below. Now this is my blazer from Helmut Lang that I mentioned just before. This I purchased on my second trip to the US when I spent 5 or 6 weeks there with my best friend, and this was a massive splurge for me. I want to say it cost me in the realm of about $750, which was a lot of money considering that I was, you know, really only a couple of years into my first professional job. I was also working in New Zealand, so exchange rate was not very good, but I'm so glad that I bought this. It was such a huge piece of my style at the time, and definitely something that I think dictated what I was wearing day to day. I wore this basically every single day, and it really has been something that has stood the test of time. Unfortunately, one thing that I have noticed is that the fabric has pulled away from the lining slightly, so it doesn't quite have that structure along the lapels, which I would say has been in part due to the fact that I would wear a really heavy bag, which was probably pulling at the fabric. So the fact that it is held up as well as it has for so long, I think is really testament to the quality. Aside from that, I mean, it doesn't really actually look that worn. This is more of a different style to the other one. It's very structured in the shoulders. There is padding here, and then it also has that pointed detail at the front. So this one feels a little bit edgier than the Rag & Bone one, which is more of a classic blazer shape. Then the final blazer that I have to talk about is this one here from Boden, which is super structured. This is actually unlike any of the blazers that I have because it is very, very structured. I think perfect for more of a corporate sort of a setting, but I do sort of feel like I could easily dress this one down. I think it looks great with jeans actually. It's a navy. This is very much inspired by those Balmain blazers, I think, but the price point is much better. Fully lined, and I mean the lining is super fun. This is polka dot. This one again was one that was very kindly gifted to me, just for full transparency, but yeah, I really love the fit of it. I think I got this in a 6. I'm going to put my sizing below, but I love the way that this just skims over my lower back, which does have a slight curve to it. The fabric on this feels really substantial, and mine's it's a really beautiful classic piece. Next, I thought we would move on to jackets, starting with my leather jacket from All Saints. This is the Balfern style, and I've gotten so many questions about this. This is such an investment piece. It was a really big splurge for me. I actually waited until the Black Friday sale so that I could get 30% off, as this is just one of their classic silhouettes that they always seem to have. What I really liked about this was the mix of the matte silver hardware and then also the matte black hardware, which you'll see here on the actual lapel. The style of this is really nice. I kind of got this as more of a fitted alternative to an acne jacket I had years ago, but actually ended up deciding to sell. I really like the fit. I went with my usual size, and I will say it is more of a snug fit underneath the arms. I could not wear something super thick with this. This is more of like a transitional jacket in my opinion. However, the leather on this is super soft, and I've already kind of noticed that it has relaxed a little bit, even though I barely worn it. So I get the feeling that over time I am going to be able to layer a little bit more with this. So definitely one which I will continue to keep you guys updated on. The next jacket I want to talk about is this utility jacket from Workshop. Now, I purchased this after a trip to New Zealand almost 2 years ago now. I tried it on in store, and I actually thought it was a little bit expensive for what it was. I feel like it was around the $550 mark, so I waited until it was almost half price, and then I very promptly stepped it out. This is unisex, so it's for men and women. I think I got this in the extra small, and it's still quite a generous fit on me. So I feel like if you were a medium women's size, then an extra small would fit you. If it's still available, I am going to leave a link to it in the description box. I actually think the wash black in this is really beautiful too. The thing I really liked about this, aside from the fact that it's very lightweight and it's not very structured at all, is the fact that it has these ties here, so you can actually cinch it in at the waist and give it a little bit more shape. I don't really feel like it's coming up true to color on camera though. It looks a little bit more like yellow toned on camera, whereas in person it's definitely more of a neutral olive green. So I don't know, I'll see if I can color correct that in post, but I enjoy pairing this a lot with more feminine silhouettes, just as I feel like it's a good balance. But the quality of this is lovely and definitely worth picking up if you can get it when it's on sale. However, I will try and link some more affordable options down in the description box too. Then I've got 2 trench coats in my wardrobe, this being one of them. This is from Karen Walker, and this is a very old style. It's from a collection called The Village, which I think came out over 7 years ago. I wasn't able to afford this full retail price, so I kept an eye out for it and I was able to get it on eBay. I actually used to have this in the beige as well, which I have seen on eBay, but I feel like it's about $450, which is a lot for one of these jackets. But the beige one, I remember one of the first times that I wore it, I went out for drinks with Luke and his brother and his brother's friend, and they knocked the table and all of the red wine on the table fell on me and on my very expensive jacket. It was not so funny at the time, but it's funny now when I look back on it. Anyway, I really like this jacket. I like the fact that it's got this exaggerated lapel with the zip up detail, which is so different. Never really seen anything else like this. The bright gold buttons, which I think are very cool, and also the cropped sleeve length too. It's just a really nice lightweight easy jacket. This is not your typical trench coat, which I think is nice. I wouldn't really wear it worn buttoned up. I mean, I could, but I think it's a little bit too military inspired for me. I just prefer to wear this one open, and it's a really great one because it's navy. It goes with so much of my wardrobe. Then the other trench coat that I have is this one here from Everlane, which is a very different style and fit to the Karen Walker one. This is more your traditional style of trench. However, I find this is very kind of lightweight, very languid. It doesn't really have structure to it, unlike I suppose the typical Burberry trench, which I guess is a time and a place. It really depends on what you are looking for in a trench coat. I think this is really nice. However, I do kind of sometimes find it annoying that the lapels are a little bit floppy. That's just a pet peeve of mine, but otherwise I think it's really beautiful. It is fully lined and it does have the little tie at the waist. Maybe I'll just show you guys quickly what it looks like done up. I mean, hang on. It is also waterproof. I have worn this in the rain and haven't had any issues. That's what it looks like done up, but just a nice kind of a classic trench, a good option if you were looking for something that doesn't have too much structure. Now let's talk about coats, and I thought I would start with my favorite of the bunch, which also just so happens to be the most expensive. It is this one from Stella McCartney. I bought this as a treat for my 30th birthday, and actually I was able to get it for 75% off retail because I found it new with tags on the reel. It was some stroke of luck or something, but I'm so pleased I decided to buy it. It has actually made me realize that I'm very happy to invest full price in a coat from Stella McCartney because this is worn so well. It actually, aside from the fact that it's got a bit of fluff on it from Winston, our ragdoll, it looks like new. It is held up so incredibly well. There is no wear to the fabric at all. It is fully lined, super duper thick. There's actually quite oversized too. I think I've got it in the 8, but I probably could have gone down a size to a 6 just because of how it fits, but that's the whole style. And I love the fact that it's got these pockets here too, which are kind of a little bit hidden. If this style is available, or if I can find it on the pre-loved market, I will drop a link to it. It is very expensive. I will say I believe it retailed for over $2,000, but I think if you have the money or you are looking to get really spendy on something like this, on a really beautiful quality coat, then Stella McCartney is a good option, especially as she is one of the few luxury designers that is trying to make more of an effort in terms of being more ethical and sustainable. Next I have this olive cocoon coat from Everlane. They have a whole bunch of colours in this style, but I really found that this colour spoke to me just because it's a little bit different, unlike anything else I have. This is a very classic style. It's got 3-button closure. However, I probably only do up the bottom 2 just so that I could have the lapel open a little bit more. I think that's a bit more flattering. Has a drop shoulder. This is a little bit more of an oversized fit, I will say. I have this in a 2, and again, I mean, I think it's the perfect size in terms of laying really big chunky sweaters underneath, but if you wanted something that was cut a little bit closer to your body, then you probably want to go down a size. Again, the quality is really lovely. The wool is textured. It does have, it's not super soft. It does have that kind of slightly rough wool texture to it. However, it's fully lined, so if you are very sensitive to wool, you shouldn't have any concerns with that, given that the only really point where it's going to touch your skin is on the inside here where the wool kind of meets the lining. But very beautiful coat, very, very well made, and definitely worth the price tag. Next, I wanted to talk about my Mute by JL camel coat because I get so many questions about this from you guys. This was one that was kindly gifted to me, and honestly, I'm being so excited to receive this because it is absolutely beautiful. It's a lot more fashion forward than your classic camel coat like this, a classic camel wrap coat. And if you are looking for one that is a bit more timeless, then I would recommend looking at the curated ones, because those look like they are very good quality, and I actually think the price point is a little bit lower as well. But this one I love for the details. So it has this dropped shoulder, batwing sleeve, and then it also has an elasticated panel at the back, which is very unusual. I haven't seen anything else like that. I do have a couple of little pet peeves with it. So as you may have noticed before, with the batwing sleeve, it does mean it can be a little bit hard to lift your arms up. You can do it. It's not a problem, but it does just, there's a little bit of resistance there. The sleeves are slightly narrow too, so you can't wear anything super thick. I usually pair my Joseph sweater underneath this and it is fine, but it is a little bit snug around the wrist. And then the other thing is that I do find when you belt it that it can sometimes look a little bit unflattering. If you're not worried about this, then it's really not a problem at all. But it is something I have noticed. I tend to wear mine open anyway, just as I don't really have a need to belt it here in Sydney, seeing as our winters are pretty mild. But that is how it looks when it's done up. It can kind of create a little bit of a funny bump there at the back. But otherwise, I think this is such a beautiful coat. The quality of it is lovely. I feel like it is worn so well considering how much I have worn it. And yeah, it is definitely one to have a look at. They do have so many other cashmere coats. I have another one from them, which I'll show you soon. But if you have been thinking about buying this, I just wanted to share that feedback with you in case you're kind of mulling it over and weren't too sure. Next up, I have this very vibrant pink coat from Karen Walker. This one I found on eBay. I'd actually been looking for this coat for about 2 or 3 years. It took me a really long time to stumble across it, and I got very lucky because I found it in my size. What I love about this coat is actually the shape of it. The color is a little bit vibrant for me, but I do actually find it really works with my very neutral toned wardrobe. The sleeves are super wide, and again, they are cropped. That's kind of like, I guess, a detail that Karen likes to put into a lot of her tailoring, which is great if you prefer that and you like the your sleeves to poke out a little bit This is a really great one for me whenever I'm wearing something that does have billowy sleeves where I don't want to be scrunched up in my jacket. The fit of it is really nice too. It's so kind of swishy and it's just a lot of fun to wear. I really like it. The quality of it is beautiful, fully lined again, and it's just a really nice thick New Zealand wool. These next three coats were absent from my entire wardrobe video, which you haven't seen it. I will put that up here because they were in storage and I couldn't figure out where I put them away. I finally found them in a suitcase, so I've now pulled them out, seeing as it is starting to cool down here in Sydney. This one is from Wilson Trollope, which is another brand that was started up by one of my school friends, Annabelle, which is very cool. She's based in Wellington and it's definitely worth looking at. The whole brand was sort of inspired by her grandmother, which I just think is really lovely. There's quite a special story behind it. This coat here is another kind of collarless coat. It sort of has a similar style to the Everlane cocoon coat, however it just doesn't have the lapel or collar detail, and it sort of has this stand up here. This is more of a lightweight coat, so perfect if you live in a warmer climate or if you're looking for something that is more lightweight for the transitional months. The lilac color is really special too. It's something very different for me. But again, I think it's one that works really well with my wardrobe. Just being the fact that it's actually really muted, I think makes it a perfect match, especially for a lot of the grey tones that I tend to wear. Aside from my puffer jacket, this is actually the only black coat that I own because I sold my Karen Walker black one before I moved to Australia. This one is from Ashley Fogel and it actually used to belong to my mum. It's one of the few items of clothing of hers that I've kept since she passed away. I really love this. It reminds me a lot of her because she used to wear this all the time for work. And again, this has cropped sleeves, which I think is really lovely, and the fact that they're a bit wider I think is nice for when I am wearing something that is a little bit kind of, I guess, like this top here from Nilly Loughton, which has those really voluminous sleeves. It's a really good one to wear over items like that. But yeah, it's just one that I keep definitely for sentimental reasons, but it's one that I do reach for quite a lot because it is a lot more lightweight. It's very straight cut through the body, and sadly you can't actually buy Ashley Fogel anymore. The brand went defunct I think around the time I moved over to Australia, which is a bit of a shame because I know my mum in particular got so many beautiful pieces from there. Then we've got my second Mute by JL coat. So unlike the camel coat, which I picked up myself, they just sent this one to me in the mail, and it is really lovely though. I think the cashmere on this is slightly nicer than the cashmere on the camel coat, and it's just a really beautiful rust color. This one does have some slits here, which I'm not sure is a design detail that I love. I have been kind of toying with the idea of stitching those up because I think that that would make it a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more classic, but the color on this is beautiful. It's a really rich, deep, red toned rust color, and again, quality is really nice. It is not lined because it is that double face cashmere again, but just a really beautiful kind of quality coat, a basic one. Actually, I think it would look really nice if you grabbed a plain leather belt and then cinched it in at the waist. I don't know if you can kind of imagine that, but I think that would look really beautiful if you're looking for something that was a bit more of a statement. This next one's a bit of a polarizing one because I know not everybody loves a teddy coat, but also this is a little bit too big for me. I decided to buy this as a wardrobe basic because I'd been thinking about adding a teddy coat to my wardrobe for a really long time. I love the one by Max Mara, but I just wasn't sure whether it was going to be a complete staple for me, so I thought it might be better in that instance to just try out the more affordable option instead of splurging on something that I wasn't really sure was the right fit for me. So yeah, this one is from Misguided, so it was very affordable. I actually think I got it when it was 50% off as well. If it's still available, I'll drop it below, but there are so many teddy coat options out there on the high street, so if you are thinking about trying this out to see if it will work for you, then you've got no shortage of places to get something that is a reasonable price. This is a size 10, so yeah, it is very, very big on me. You can kind of see there's a lot of room here at the back, so I definitely would have been better off with an 8, and I probably should have just waited, but it's super snuggly, and I think if I'm feeling really cold, then this is probably something that I might reach for just because I love the color of it. It is so like fluffy. Thinking about it, I'm not 100% sure that teddy coats are my style. I think it's really fun to kind of try and play around with it, but I don't think, after having this, I don't really know that I would need to invest in the Max Mara one. But yeah, would love to know what you guys think. It's probably the kind of thing I would wear over just a plain black and white outfit like this one, I think. So we're at the final two jackets. This one here is a parka in navy. It's from Isabel Marant Etoile, and I think it is the Felton parka. Unfortunately, it is quite a few years old, so I don't even think you can buy this anymore. It has a hood, And it does have, where did I put it? I took this off, but I think this is it fox fur? You put this around the collar. It's not really my vibe though, but I just keep it in the pocket so that it doesn't go missing. I haven't worn this that much because it doesn't get cold enough really in Sydney to warrant wearing something like this, but I kind of got it because Luke and I have been toying with the idea of going to Iceland potentially when it was cold. I thought this would be perfect to take with me, which is why I bought it. I've had it for quite a few years now, but that's the reason why you've really never seen it, because I think I've worn it twice since I bought it. Definitely not something I want to part with though. It is so thick, so cozy. I love the fact that it has these little knitted, what do you call it, rib details here around the wrist. It's really substantial in terms of how it fits. It's nice and quilted on the inside, and then yeah, it's got these super cozy pockets too, which are good to just put your hands in if you aren't wearing gloves. It does make me feel a little bit like a marshmallow because of how big it is, but I really enjoy having this, and I do hope that I will find an opportunity to wear it a lot more soon. And the final jacket that I have in my wardrobe is this Renew long puffer jacket from Everlane. This again was sent to me when they launched their whole Renew initiative. I think it was late last year. And do you know what? I actually really love this. I didn't think that there was a place for a puffer jacket in my wardrobe, but after getting this and trying it on, I'm obsessed and actually really can't wait to wear this when it cools down. This is so puffy, it is so soft. It's made out of recycled plastic bottles, which I think is fantastic. It's really amazing to see that a single-use product like a plastic bottle has been turned into something that you would wear over and over again. It is incredibly warm as a result because it is synthetic, and what I love the most about this is that the pockets are lined with a microfiber, so they are really toasty and warm. It has a hood as well, which is a really good shape actually, because on me it comes forward quite significantly, so it does cover up a lot of your face if you are looking at chill factor. I have seen people who live in really cold climates where it goes quite significantly below zero say that this isn't sufficient enough for those sorts of temperatures. However, I think if it was sort of the low minus temps, then you might be okay with this. You probably just want to wear another thermal as well as, you know, your usual regular cozy knits and stuff like that underneath. But otherwise, I really love this, and actually I think the whole Renew line that Everlane do is very cool. So that is my entire blazer, jacket and coat collection. I hope that you guys enjoyed this and that it was really helpful if you were kind of thinking about eyeing up any of the items that I do have in my wardrobe, or just thinking about different styles that you want to have. Let me know which of these videos you want to see next, because as I said, there are going to be a lot of them coming in May, and I'm quite happy to put them out in any order that you guys want to see them. Thank you again for watching. I know this was another long one. Let me know if you have a favorite piece as well down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I will see you guys next time with a brand new one. See you soon. Bye.